yours too, sort of. I shortened them.
Why did I do that?
Amanda.
I'm
the
sorry,
youngest
that's
person we
so
have?
funny. Why would I do that? I'm so stupid. Hi, I'm Keke Palmer, and I'm gonna watch some scenes throughout my career.
Akeelah, what's wrong?
I don't want to do the B no more.
You don't want to do the B? Why not?
Dr. Larry don't want to coach me no more. Georgia don't want to hang out with me. And all these people are expecting me to win. And it's just too hard, Mama. I want it all to stop.
Baby, you work
Please. Please.
All right.
Yes! Oh my gosh. I love that little girl, you know? She was fighting for her life, okay? You know, I really didn't realize how much I was relating to Akeelah in terms of like doing my own version of the spelling bee, which was acting, which was being a kid performer, you know? And I remember this scene specifically because I was having a hard time crying. And Angela Bassett, she was like the one that got through to me, and she was sitting in front of me and she was like, okay, who helps you run your lines and get to your auditions? And I was like, my mom. And she was like, so your mom does everything for you. She's the one who makes sure that you're able to do all the things that you love. I was like, yeah, I wouldn't be able to do any of it without my mom. And she was like, well, what if one day your mom said, no, I'm not gonna help you anymore? How would that make you feel? Like, she immediately helped me to tie the emotion of Akeelah, of what Akeelah was going through, to my actual life in a way that wasn't destructive, which sometimes emotional stuff can be for actors when you don't have other tools. And when I think about the mentorship that Angela has shown me and what I learned from Lawrence Fishburne on the set of Akeelah and the Bee, those are things that still have stuck to me. I think in so many ways they were my first teachers in the industry.
Young woman, may I ask who made your jacket?
Well, you did.
I thought it looked familiar, but I don't recall the buttons being orange.
They weren't. I changed them.
And the pants?
They're yours too, sort of. I shortened them.
Why did I do that?
Amanda.
I'm
the
sorry, that's
youngest
so
person
funny. Why would I do that? I'm so stupid. Oh my gosh. That little girl was working hard. She was doing the best she could every step of the way. I was just giving it 150 million%. It's just, I just remember this time. This was like the feeling of a dream coming true. I grew up, you know, watching Disney, Nickelodeon, you know what I mean? And always being like, wow, it would be so cool to do something like that. And just, you know, we all did. And it actually happened. Like, I remember just being like, I really have my own show. Like, I was just gagged beyond belief. And then also, over the years, this is a lot of work. It's almost like it's not as bad as the movie Bedazzled, but it's a version of that where it's like, when you get what you wish for, it also does come with responsibilities. And so I remember being like, this was a lot. I had to grow up really fast, and not like in this like cliche way. I just mean truly. Like I had to not worry about having kid feelings because I was in a workplace. I was doing a job, and you know, we know as adults, don't bring your to work. You know, you just know as an adult that's expected. I go in, clock out, whatever. Like I leave it at home. But as a kid, you're supposed to be able to be unreasonably angry, unreasonably sad, unreasonably whatever, because you're a kid. But because there was so much at stake, I just couldn't do it. As obvious as it is, kids are working like adults. Nobody really wants to feel that. So when you're a little kid and you're like, so even though you probably feel like, look, in order for me to I'm gonna need to move back. You instead like, I wonder what time you have to kind of like still be a kid with it. Otherwise people are like, you make people feel bad. And again, that's already something too much to be thinking about.
Hey, these are my sisters.
Hi. Hi, Ramona.
I'm Gary.
What a time. New York, pre-COVID, a different world, let me tell you that much. I had a time filming that movie. I really enjoyed it, being with all the girls. I loved me and Lily Reinhart. We had so much fun. 2 Virgos, you know what I mean? It's a love fest. I was so thrilled to work with Jennifer Lopez. You know, I'd always been a fan of hers. It was a big reintroduction for me as an adult because, you know, this is when people weren't really referencing Akeelah and the Bee, you know, or True Jackson VP as much anymore. Like, it was just a whole new world when I was an adult. It was like everything I did as a kid kind of disappeared in a lot of ways. It was hard because I wasn't having the same feedback that I had as a kid, where I was just booking and booking and booking. The difficulties of auditioning became much more realer in my teen to adult years. And I remember this opportunity was like a reintroduction to a whole new audience. And then also a remembrance of those that maybe were like, oh yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, some movies I've done before where it's like, you rehearse. But like, we did not rehearse on this. This was just like us being in the same room for hours at end and ending up becoming close and cool, you know? Usually with improv, it's a scenario prompt. You know, this is what's going on, and just do as you go. And that was kind of the vibe here. You know what I mean? It was like, you're meeting this guy for the first time. You guys are trying to get him to, you know, get loose and get comfortable enough for you guys to put something in his drink and, you know, take him for everything he's got. And so that's, at that point, you know exactly what you need to say. I love you. You've been everything on my mind. Like, I can feel, is it big? You know, like, you gotta say and do anything that'll get somebody. So, you know, that's, I remember just being a scenarios prompted, and then we just run with it. We go to the most credible platform to do the story.
What's that, like Oprah?
Yeah, like Oprah, for example. After that, everybody want in.
Well, I'm saying there's plenty of videos of flying shit online. I saw one the other day that wasn't on Oprah.
Nigga, I didn't say Oprah. You said Oprah. You love Oprah. I think anytime you find a rhythm with the other person you're sharing a scene with, I listen. Like, I hear lines as music. And so I'm always trying to serve the scene, what the scene is meant for. If the scene is meant for exposition, or this scene is meant for us to understand them, if this scene is meant for whatever it is, I'm going to have that guide me, and then I'm going to listen to the other person and see what instrument they're playing, and then I'm going to support that with what I say back and make sure that we're aligned. You know what I mean? And Jordan wanted that hair. He looked at my Instagram page and he said, I think this is Emerald's hair. And I'm like, wow, like, you want my natural hair for the movie. And I remember being so like gagged by that and excited, because I'll be honest, you know, it doesn't seem like it's that many years ago, but like, it's been really still a thing when a Black woman wears her natural hair, you know, especially how I came up, like True Jackson VP was like weave only, you know what I mean? There was no world where I was damn near even gonna wear braids. Like, it was like I had like a little weave in that I had to get in all the time. I remember just feeling like, wow, it's a new world. That I'm doing a movie, first of all, with someone like a Jordan Peele, that a Jordan Peele exists, that we're getting this kind of backing from a studio like Universal, and that I am going to be a queer Black actress, you know, playing in this movie with my natural look. It was just like, to me, having been in the industry for over 20 years, that was definitely like a sign that some things have changed, you know what I mean? Ain't nobody gonna get what we gonna get.
What we gonna get?
The shot.
What shot?
The shot. The money shot. Undeniable, singular, the Oprah shot.
The Oprah shot?
True horror of Nope is extraction. I think for me, it's like this idea that we can be eaten by the very things that we're chasing. And I think about it in terms of like consumerism, spectacle, the desire to be seen by things bigger than ourselves. And sometimes that quest within it of itself can eat you alive. Because again, sometimes you don't know what you're asking for. You don't know what you're wishing for. And if you don't really think hard enough on it, you can find yourself in situations where you don't know if you're gonna get out alive. Wait. What are the interest rates? There. Damn, I thought that was the year of establishment.
If you don't have the money this month, you're not gonna have it next month.
This was an improv day, okay? We had lines, but like, we really went in. All of us did. So first of all, Kayla is a G. Like, she is honestly insane. Like, from Curb Your Enthusiasm, really everything that she's in, she really makes it a moment and just goes up. And she did that in this scene. I remember like we were all going back and forth. Me, SZA, Akeelah, just every take was different. And I don't even know how they actually cut it together, to be honest with you. You know, we kept some of the same beats, but we would be going up, up, up at the end. And it was just a lot of improv. It was a very fun and crazy day.
You guys are old. Way too old not to understand how credit works, ladies. What? Just get it together.
Oh, sweetie, you get it together. You get it together, honey.
You know what? Denied.
Why are you acting so uppity? You ain't nothing but a hood rat. Yeah.
Denied.
You're denied. You're void.
Denied.
You're void.
A lot of it was hard to keep a straight face. That's why it's like, it's like one of those things where I don't know how they edited it together, because on some of them we're laughing or having to hide behind each other. SZA was definitely like, she was like, okay guys, we have to restart real quick, because we started getting just crazy, you know what I mean? You just start getting silly, because honestly, it's a big moment of play.
I've never seen a credit score this low.
Well, when I went to business school, I had to get a loan.
Within the system, you go in there and you maybe don't even have a chair to sit down in. And this is the place that you're going to get help and service from. And then sometimes the person in there might even be making fun of you. And then you got the whole thing with the interest rates, where it's like, you're really signing me up to be in debt forever. And it's like, there's no financial literacy or education. And you wind up in these situations where you're kind of really being set up for failure. And it's just like, I think that's what we're seeing the girls go through with the entire movie is, you know, they from the hood, you know what I mean, they're doing the best with what they've got. There's no room for error. And I think that's the thing, is like, we're only human. And this idea that, you know, in some areas, you've got to be a rose that grows from concrete. Everybody deserves some grass, some sunlight, and a little bit of water.
Where's your white girl? Everybody else is in place. Stevie's here. Stevie's ready.
Many of those are ready too.
Hey, I know you.
You don't know me.
From the club.
We all know that guy. That's a dangerous I can tell you that. It's bad, you know. I love the way that Boots heightens situations or he creates irony in a moment. Like when people get to know like the background story of Lakeith's character, it just becomes that much more, to me, relatable, because we all know what that's like. When you meet this person and you guys are connected, but the connective tissue is kind of like traumatic, you know, but you feel the excitement and the potential of what could be, but then before you know it, it kind of sucks the life out of you. Panavision created this lens for the movie. Like whatever when this moment happens, it's like a specially created one that I don't even know that he had, you know, necessarily in mind. He just knows what he wants people to feel like.
You kill me with that candy ritual.
I love red happy wrestlers. They relax me. They don't want me anxious.
Yeah, but you spit it out.
It was really hot, okay? I'm wearing the like padded suit underneath. Then on top of that, I have like clothes, like stuffed, you know, into the actual pink sweatsuit that I'm wearing. So it was very, very hot, you know, and obviously deeply imbalanced, you know what I'm saying, with those heels that I had on. I mean, it was actually quite fabulous as well. Like when I look at it as well, like I love the look, like the hair and the pink. So, you know, she was kind of eating down, and so was Naomi's character, like Sade. I loved her outfit here as well. I just remember us just staying true to the moment, because there's so many things that are hilarious about the scenario that I think the biggest thing that you always want to make sure that you do is to stay grounded, is to be completely grounded in the moment, because you don't want to compete with already what's happening. The ball coming down, he would just tell me like, you know, that's where that was written in the script. That's something that we, like this is the big metaphor of what's chasing her. It's so relatable. If we all have a ball or a monster or something like that in our lives that we are running from, or we are trying to metabolize, or that it's constantly in the back of our head. We talk about that all the time, because I think that's like so human. I remember when we were matching to the van behind us, it was really a conversation about like, he's like, don't force it. You know, but if you can hit that and make it look natural, it would be great. And so I was definitely wanting to hit that because I thought it was a cool shot. And when I see it in the movie, I really love that moment.
Would you say that True Jackson VP was a better VP than Dick Cheney?
What the hell is... Ooh, y'all are really testing me on some stuff that I hate to say it. I hope I don't sound ridiculous. I don't know who this man is. I mean, he could be walking down the street. I wouldn't know a thing. Sorry to this man. I will never understand. I will always be just gagged by sorry to this man. Sorry to this man is always, I just remember, I'm just still to this day, it's like, wow. It was like, Sorry to This Man was a movie. You know what I mean? It was a very short one, but it really was a movie in so many ways because people still come up to me talking about that damn near more than anything in my catalog of films. And it's like, yeah, it's unique. Like my generation is a generation of memes, but we remember the time where that didn't exist. So, there was no way I could predict this type of media. So it's like it's like a version of a cartoon or an avatar, even though it's me, but. So once I seen the feedback, I was like, well, I've got to give the people what they want. Maybe I need to put this on a shirt or something. If people want to have this moment, you know what I mean? I think you're always trying to figure out how to service the audience. You just never, again, it was like such a unique scenario, but I was like, should I be servicing this? Should I be, is there more that I can give them on this? Because I don't really know, like, I remember being there thinking like I had not seen anything like that vibe before. Wow, it's always crazy going down memory lane. Hindsight is 20/20. It's one of those things where, I don't know. I guess I would just say that I really appreciate any opportunity to just, take a look in the past, as I continue to trudge forward. Thanks for watching.